Hello, I think we're on. Welcome to Q&A Thursday on the 18th of May. Fantastic. This is our third Q&A Thursday. I'm really impressed. All right, so we've got lots on today. I've got the secret I'm going to share with you. And we've had one question that came through the email, and it was a real doozy. So I wanted to share that with you today. It gave the team here at TLT headquarters a bit of conversation. So I'll share that with you today. So I just wanted to do some housekeeping before we start. We're going to check that everybody can see and hear me. So just in the bottom right-hand corner, you will have access to a comments bar. So just type in there that, yes, Tina, I can hear you, or yes, I can see you, and that'll be great. And we can go from there. So I'll just check that we are all okay. Yes, excellent. Fantastic. Hi, Debbie, Felicity, Derek, Michelle. Beautiful. All right, and Belinda, sorry. All right, excellent. Great to see you here. Now, I'm hoping that we've had Paul join us as well. Now, Paul's somebody who has come to me on a couple of occasions via email, and he's struggled to log into the webinars in the past. So we did some tweaks and I sent him the link. So I'm hoping that, Paul, you are out there somewhere. Fingers crossed. Okay, so let's begin. So as I said, we've got one question that came through the email this week, but if you have got any questions from anything that you've been doing with regards to the Module 1 Discover Me in the Team Leader Toolkit portal, or anything about any of the tools that you might have used in the tool suite, or specifically about your team, then please just put it in the comments below and I will answer it as best I can. All right, fantastic. So I wanted to share with you, a question that we had from one of our members. Very courageous question. So I'm just going to make sure that you can see my PowerPoint display here. Okay, so the question came from Daniel from WA. So thank you very much, Daniel. And his question was, I'm not sure what questions I should ask. And I suspect that you're not alone, Daniel. I don't think you would be the only one that would be thinking that very same question. And I thank you, because it's a very courageous question to ask. I wish I had asked this question when I was a new leader back in the day. And when I spoke to my team about this, we reflected on when we were in that new position where we were leading a team of people. Because let's face it, when you are a team member and you're engaged and you're enthusiastic and you're capable and you know your job and you're getting on with everybody, and then you get put into a team leader position where you're leading a bunch of people, I think that transition is quite difficult. That transition to leading a team of people is a total different set of skills that's needed. So sometimes we're quite hard on ourselves, and we don't want to ask the questions because we assume that everybody thinks we should know that already. So I don't think you're alone, Daniel. Again, thank you for asking this question. I reflected on when I was a first-time leader, and I'd wished I'd asked some certain questions that I want to share with you today, because I think they would have been really instrumental in setting me up for success. So let's go through those questions real quickly. But if you do have anything that you want to ask, then please feel free to ask it on the comments, and we will get onto those as well. And obviously, I'm going to share a little secret with you at the end, because I did promise you a secret. I've got a great secret to share, so bear with me. I say, okay, so let's have a look at the questions that I wish I had asked myself as a new leader. So the first one is, who is the key influencers on my team? So who's the person that everyone respects and listens to? Because ultimately this person can actually make or break you, and it might be a couple of people on your team. And so it's really important early on as possible to gain their buy-in, get them on side. I think that's really, really important moving forward. I think if you clash with this person, then it's going to be a real struggle for a long time. So, you know, really make a point to try and get their buy-in and get their influence on your side. So that's one question I really wished I'd asked myself. Another question is, what's expected of me and what am I supposed to do? So, you know, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And we might be, you know, we might be, let me turn this off. So we might be thinking that everybody knows what to do and I'm supposed to know what to do, but I actually don't really know what to do. And that's why it's really important that we do this activity in Module 1 with what are the expectations of my manager, what are the expectations, what are my expectations of my manager. And then in Module 2, we start talking about what are the expectations of my team and what do I have with regards to them, what are my expectations of them. So getting that expectations up front is really, really going to guide you in not only working out what you need to do, but also the bits and pieces that you can delegate out. So I think it's really important to ask those questions, and I wish I'd done that from the very beginning. So the third question I wish I'd asked myself is, you know, how will my success be measured? Because, you know, sometimes you can be in a company that you don't get a lot of feedback. You don't get a lot of one-on-ones with your manager. So it's really tough to determine whether you're doing the right thing or there's some gaps. So I think that's going to be, I think we're going to do a little bit more of this in Module 2 because we actually set goals and then we learn how to measure them. So that will help you measure your own success and that of your team. But I think we can ask this question. I think we need to give ourselves the right to say, you know, in our one-on-ones, how do you think I'm going? Get that feedback. Reach out to people that has influenced you and will have a big influence in what you do and try and get their thoughts. So I think you need to do this on a regular basis, especially from the beginning, because it really makes you feel like, yes, I'm on track, I'm on fire, and I can keep going down this road. Or, okay, there's been a bit of a hiccup. What do I need to do to, you know, overcome this barrier? So this is a great question to ask your manager and the people that are around you. Even tap into the peers that are around you. You know, how do they measure their success? How do they know that, you know, what they're doing is making a difference and value adding? So this is a great question to ask. So question 4, how am I perceived in my new team? So this is really important. This is why we've done the 360-degree feedback, because it's really, really important for you to determine how you're perceived by your team. Now, we can have all the best intentions, but it can be perceived very differently. So let me tell you a quick story about a leader I used to coach. So I used to coach this leader and he felt like he had a really good relationship with his team. He got on with them. They, you know, they worked really well together. So we did a bit of a 360-degree feedback for him. And it was quite eye-opening for him because he found out that his team found he was very approachable, very easygoing, from about 10 a.m. in the morning. Anytime before that, no one would go near him because he seemed grumpy and people would avoid him. So you can imagine his thoughts about that, because that certainly wasn't his intention. His intention was to be approachable and to be easygoing and for his team to be able to come and speak to him whenever they wanted, not until after he's had his 2 coffees in the morning. So that was a real eye-opener and a bit of a blind spot for him. So he was able to then change that, because that wasn't his intention, but it was how he was being perceived. He was able to change that. So how he changed it is he made sure he came in with a smile on his face, said good morning to people, you know, stopped a couple of people, had a 30-second chat, and just made sure he got himself out there. So that perception could change and his intention then matched the perception. So that 360-degree feedback is really, really important. Important now, so you can get a snapshot of current state. And then as we go through this journey, at the end of the journey, we're going to do it again so that you can really determine and measure how far you've come with regards to the perception of your team. So that's a great question to ask. I think another one I should have asked is, am I talking enough? So sometimes you think, wow, am I talking enough? Am I giving you people enough guidance? Am I, you know, giving enough support? What am I doing? So I think the adage that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth goes a long way with regards to, yes, we need to talk, but we also need to listen as leaders to gain that empathy, to gain that trust, to be able to build those relationships with your team members. So talking is important, but listening is probably twice as important. So if you've got that question, then maybe it's something that you could even ask your team. Hey, do you feel like you've got enough guidance for me? Do you feel like I, support you enough? Yes, Debbie, intention is powerful. It can change everyone's day. Absolutely. You're absolutely right there. Question 6. Am I ready to pay the price of growth? Now, we don't know what we don't know, but every learning curve requires a high level of time, a high level of energy, but the payoff is huge. So are you prepared to lean in to this, amount of energy that you need to give and the bit of time that you have to give to ensure that you get that payoff? As long as we go into this with our eyes open wide, knowing we're going to feel uncomfortable, we're going to feel slightly confrontational, we're going to feel levels of a little bit of anxiety, and we're going to feel a bit tired. But we know that that's not a long-term journey. This is a short-term journey for a long-time gain. So are we ready to pay the price of that growth? And if your answer is yes, fantastic. Let's join this. Let's do this together. You're not on your own. You've got as much support as I can possibly give. Reach out to your internal support mechanisms that you've got, and let's get this going. If you're not, let's have a discussion about it. Let's find out what are the barricades and barriers that are stopping you from leaning into this. So a good question to ask, I think. Question 7, and this ties into the last question. So am I protecting what's empowering me? So if you feel really energized when you go for a run or go to the gym or read a book, or are you spiritual, does family time really make a difference? If all those things make a difference and empower you and energize you, then you need to protect that, because you're going to need as much energy as you possibly can to be able to lean into this journey that you're going on currently. So this learning curve can be draining, and because it takes so much energy, you still need to do those things that energize you so you can get that real balance. So have a think about that, whether it's playing golf, whether it's, driving fast cars, whether it's fishing, whether, whatever, watching movies, whatever it is that energizes you and makes you feel like you're renewing and regenerizing, then absolutely make sure you're protecting that, because you need the balance. Okay, the 8th question I wish I'd asked when I was a new leader was, am I giving myself space for what I don't know? Now, this is a hard one. This is a great retrospect question, but quite difficult to do when you're in the moment. So you don't know what space you need. You don't know what time you need. You don't know what resources you need. It's a struggle to work out, what you need to do for what you don't know. So what I'm going to say to you is expect the unexpected and plan for it. So how do you do that? Block out 1.5 hours a week in your calendar to ensure that you can get these modules done. Be kind to yourself, and ensure you're giving yourself the time that you need to succeed. When you've got that time, it will help you build up that courage to be able to ask for extra resources if you need it as well. So give yourself the space and allow yourself to learn and find out the things that you don't know. So that's a good one. Question 9, so where are you going? Have you set your vision? Are you taking your team on that journey? Because it's instrumental for everyone to be involved on that journey. And let me tell you, in a few short weeks, you will be setting the vision for you and your team. You and your team are going to be sitting down and setting your vision. So you're going to have your destination, you're going to have your purpose, and you're going to have your values that drive that on a day-to-day basis. And we're going to do that next month. So keep tuned for this, because this will be able to answer that question for you on where you're going. And last but not least, how will my team know that I do care? So people don't it's that old adage, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So I'll say that again, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So let your team know how much you care by listening, by prioritising their safety, by showing a bit of courtesy, getting to know your team a little bit more, sharing bits about yourself to them. So there's easy ways that you can really let your team know that you care about them and that they're important. And I think we forget to do that at the beginning. I think we're so busy not knowing what we don't know that we forget to do this. So it's a great question to ask yourself. How will my team know that I care? So what are your thoughts on those 10 questions? Is it questions that you've asked yourselves? I'll just give you a couple of seconds to write in the comments. Good one. And the other thing I guess I wanted to ask you, well done, Derek, good, worth thinking about, good one. The other thing I wanted to ask you, is there any other questions that you've got burning in your head right now that you're a bit afraid to ask? Now, you might not want to ask it in this forum. Great questions, especially 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thanks, Debbie. Fantastic. Yeah, so if you've got any burning questions that are any other than these 10, then if you don't feel comfortable doing it, asking your manager or asking your peers, then this is the forum for you to ask those questions, because this is your safe environment that you can get online, have a chat to me, have a chat to your fellow leaders that are actually going on this journey with you, and let's support each other. So feel free to, ask any questions that might come up for you. All right, excellent. Good. So I'm just going to share with you now my secret. Now, I'm really, this is a secret with regards to all the feedback and testimonials that you're going to give me down the track, and I'm going to share with you a secret about my gift to you. So this is my gift for you. Now, I've written a few books. This is one of my books. It's called The Ugly Truth About Your Team. Now, I had to pick a flashy headline so it would catch your interest. But what this book is about, it explains the 10 most common behaviours that you will find in your team members. Now, some of those behaviours can be quite destructive and can be hard to deal with. And then you've got some other behaviours that are actually really empowering and great. So what I do is I explain what those 10 behaviours are. I talk about what damage they can do in a team environment. And then I talk about how you can countermeasure that damage and how you can countermeasure that behaviour. So it gives you some really good insights on what you may or might not do. Now, when you read this book, you might find, you know what, I've got probably 6 out of 10 of these people, or you might have 3 out of 10, or you might have all 10. It doesn't really matter. As long as you can get something from it, and if one of your team members is actually quite a challenge for you right now, then you might find some answers in this book. So I will be sending you that book as soon as you've given me some feedback and testimonials. This is my big thank you to you, totally free, and it's not actually available anywhere else. So you guys are going to be the only ones that get it. So that was my big secret to you that I wanted to share. So I hope that's going to be a little incentive for you, as well as a big thank you from me. All right, so it's Q&A time. So we had that one question that came. No worries, Michelle. Woohoo, she says. All right, so we had that one question that came through the email from Daniel. So Daniel, I hope that helped you, and thanks again for your courage to speak out. I think it was a very brave question to ask, and it really gave us lots of points of discussion. So I really, really appreciate that. If there's any other questions that people have got, now's the time to write it in to the little comments. Ask me any questions that you might have about the Team Leader Toolkit portal, whether it's about the tool suite, whether it's about the Facebook site, while people are thinking about if there's anything that they want to ask, no worries, Debbie. Thank you too. Okay, so if there's anything that that you want to ask, now's the time. But I just wanted to add in that I'm really excited about our expert webinar. We have an expert coming that I'm actually recording a webinar with her this afternoon. She is amazing. She is, I'm not going to tell you her name because I want that to be a surprise, but she has been an executive coach for many, many years, over 20 years. She's a public speaker. She's an author. She's also a facilitator. And her main aim is to empower leaders to navigate change and achieve their leadership potential. So that's her sort of underlying thing that she does. And let me tell you, I'm really excited to have her as part of our expert secret. So we will be recording that webinar today. I will be putting it up on your unlocking portal in module 1 in the next few days. So watch out for that, but I will send you an email and tell you it's up. But watch it because it's going to be fantastic. We've been liaising over the phone for quite a number of weeks. So she's really excited about joining us as well. So look out for that. All right. So I'm going to get you back. Oops. I'm going to get you back. I really need to get one of my team members in here to help me do this. Where did that photo come from? Okay, we're back. Fantastic. Okay, so great to have you guys on here. I'm really concerned that Paul doesn't look like he's on, so we're going to have to sort you out, Paul, because you've had a couple of instances where you've missed us. So let's see if we can sort that out for you. So is there any questions that anyone's got? How's your teams going? Is there anything that's bugging you? Have you got a pain point right now? Is there anything you want to ask about the portal? So I'll give you a couple of seconds to have a think about if there's anything that you need to ask. All right. So we all good? If you just want to write no questions at this time or something, so I know that I'm not going to sign off too early while you're thinking about your questions, that'd be great. Thanks, Debbie. Very courageous question to ask. And absolutely, you'd be feeling overwhelmed. I can't make it any better, but I can tell you it does get better. It does get better as you go. So right now, feel my cyber embrace. We've got our arms around you. You're not on your own. And you will know what you currently don't know very soon. The reason the Team Leader Toolkit is in bite-sized chunks is because there is a lot to know. So what we do, we've prioritised stuff at the front that we need to get going straight away. And as we go down in the months, you're going to realise that one is a build on the other. So as we go, things will start to click in place. Things will start to get a lot easier because you've done all these things previously. So believe you me, you're on the right journey. You've got the right level of support. You've got all the resources and templates you need. You're still going to feel a little bit overwhelmed. You're still going to feel outside your comfort zone. But lean into it, lean into it and go, I can do this because I've got every faith in the world for you. So, and reach out to me whenever you need to. So you can go on the ask@teamleadertoolkit.com, send me an email, come on to the Q&A Thursdays and let's chat it out. But know that you're supported and you're not on your own. I hope that helped. Flick, no questions at this time. Fantastic. Good one. All right, Michelle, you all good? Derek, all good? And there's no Paul. Oh dear. I'll have to catch up with you, Paul. I think I need to give you a call. Might be your end. But anyway. All right. Fantastic, guys. Looks like we are questioned out. It was a quick one this week. It's only because I had only one question come through the email this week too. Usually we have 4 or 5. So remember, utilise the email if you can't get onto the Q&A Thursday. You don't have to wait till then. If tomorrow something comes up and you go, oh, I wish I knew the answer to this, drop me an email. I'll answer you straight away. Plus, we will put it on to our live Q&A Thursday, because if you've got a question, you can bet your bottom dollar somebody else has got that very same question. So I like to answer them live when I can. All right. So fantastic. Thank you for coming, guys. It's been really great to have a chat to you all, and hopefully we will catch up together again on Q&A Thursday next Thursday at 12 noon Sydney and Melbourne time. Remember, get into the portal. If you can't get into the portal, let me know. Also, make sure that you utilise those tools. We've got some more tools back from the graphic designer, so they're going to be uploaded really, really soon, so keep your eye out for those. Get onto the Facebook side if you haven't done so yet. We've got some more people adding onto there all the time, so it's starting to grow. Our little community is growing, which is fantastic to see. Also, watch out for that expert webinar that's coming down the line. I'm really excited about it. And last but not least, Q&A Thursday. Come and join me every Thursday. If you've got a question, great. If you don't, I'm going to share questions with you anyway, and they just might answer something that's been in the back of your mind. So, all right, Cyber Hug received. Fantastic, Debbie. Well done. I'm glad you received it. All right. Now, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you same time, same back channel next week. See you next Thursday. Bye.